Welcome to Noir Alley, the darkest, seediest, most sinister corner of Turner Classic Movies. I'm your host, Eddie Muller, and I hope you've been a regular visitor since we set up shop here. But if you're just stumbling through after a rough Saturday night, you've come to the right place. In fact, I may be making myself a Bloody Mary over here once we start the picture. At the close of last week's show, I teased that we'd be spending time today with the greatest actress in the history of motion pictures. And if any of you thought I was talking about someone other than Barbara Stanwyck, go to the back of the class. Come on. Not only did Miss Stanwyck possess the greatest range of any movie actress, being equally adept at screwball comedy and gut-wrenching drama, she could easily lay claim to being the most essential actress in the development of film noir. After all, dark crime thrillers were not really a movement in Hollywood until Stanwyck created a sensation as the duplicitous femme fatale Phyllis Dietrichson in 1944's Double Indemnity. At that time, she was the highest paid woman in the United States of America, and the box office success of that film was the single most critical factor in the rise of what would later be called film noir. And she didn't stop there. During the 10 years following Double Indemnity, she could lay claim to the mantle Queen of Noir. The Strange Love of Martha Ivers, Sorry Wrong Number, The Two Mrs. Carrolls, The File on Thelma Jordan, No Man of Her Own, Witness to Murder, as well as noir-stained dramas like The Lady Gambles, Clash by Night, and Jeopardy. Stanwyck took a long walk on the wild side. For years, however, few of those films were mentioned when experts talked about film noir. The reason is simple. Film scholars were mostly men, and they rarely felt a female protagonist fit the mold they'd established for film noir. If a gorgeous woman led a man to ruin, of course that was noir. But if a woman was tortured by a sexy and sinister man, well, then it was considered a soap opera or a woman in jeopardy picture. Please. Film noir is where the sexes are equal, equally tempted, equally compromised, equally guilty. And no one, man or woman, portrayed this angst and agony better than Barbara Stanwyck. Today we're showing Missy's final foray into film noir, 1957's Crime of Passion. It's based on an original story and screenplay by Joe Isinger, who was a New York newspaperman before coming to Hollywood. Isinger was nowhere near as prolific as other ink-stained transplants from the Fourth Estate, such as Ben Hecht, Gene Fowler, Herman Mankiewicz, or Bill Bowers, but he did script a few gems, foremost among them Gilda and Night and the City. With Crime of Passion, Isinger crafted a script that could easily be called proto-feminist in its depiction of a woman who sacrifices a successful career to become a suburban housewife, only to have boredom drive her to homicidal rage. Plenty of books have been written about middle-class malaise of the 1950s, but few films have confronted it as directly as Crime of Passion. The film also stars two stalwarts of noir, stoic Sterling Hayden and the redoubtably heavy Raymond Burr, although he's slimmed down considerably in this one.
Tony, I beg you.
Listen, ever since the day you had your little accident, we haven't fooled each other. You dealt the cards, I played them as they came.
Crime of Passion was released in January 1957, and in September of that year, Burr's legacy of villainy would suddenly end when the public went nuts for his portrayal of TV defense attorney Perry Mason. So this is not only Stanwyck's film noir swan song, it's Burr's last stroll through Noir Alley as well. Directed by Gerd Oswald, who'd direct quite a few episodes of Perry Mason, and featuring Hollywood veterans Fay Wray and Virginia Gray, here is the one and only Barbara Stanwyck committing a crime of passion.